Volume 8 has been out for a few weeks now, and I think enough time has passed where we can discuss whether or not this was a good, bad, or great update, and how it ranks among the other updates such as Volume 7 Drift and Drag and Volume 6. We will be discussing everything that was added and how those things either helped the game or did not help the game, including, yes, the EVA. A lot of the things said in this video have been covered in other videos I have made, and I hate repeating myself and wasting people's time on repetitive subjects, so those topics will still be discussed, but will not be dived deeper into. If you want to know more or hear my opinions on a certain topic that has been previously covered, make sure to click on my channel and find which video you desire. But besides that, let's get straight into it. As everyone knows, Volume 8 had to deal with the Hot Pursuit update and added quite a few things, the big names being the Hot Pursuit races that have racers versus cops, the new Porsche, and more importantly, the new S Plus EVA, important new bug fixes and quality of life improvements, and way more. From the synopsis alone, a lot of people would suggest immediately that this is the best update of the game and that it saved Unbound. But did it? Is the Hot Pursuit update really better than what Drift and Drag offered to the masses? The big one, Hot Pursuit game mode and cops. The biggest positive is yet another game mode has been added that not only casual players can enjoy, but also competitive players as well. This is not to mention all the players that came back to the game due to the increased nostalgia factor from when they reminisced about playing Hot Pursuit Remastered or the original Hot Pursuit. This game mode has single-handedly ignited a spark back into the community as a whole, proven when going through YouTube videos on Unbound and searching through the Reddit and Need for Speed Discord. Every topic is Hot Pursuit this and Hot Pursuit that. People researched on the best cars to escape cops, tips and tricks, the best cop cars, and pursuit tech. This is the most engaged I have seen the community since the game's release, easily, and the increased player count numbers on Steam say the exact same thing. For once, it seemed like the entire Unbound fan base was having fun on the game again and filling up lobbies. People were buying the game for the first time, and in my personal experience, I have never seen so many low levels in multiplayer game modes such as PvP than I have with this new update dropping. Did Drift and Drag have this sort of effect? To an extent, yes, but there were those who did not drift and those who did not want to drag. The game modes were extremely buggy and people didn't agree with the movement system that Drag implemented. As for Drift, the drift multipliers and the fact traffic was present turned a lot of the community off to it, even though the drifting handling was completely redone. As a whole, we were excited for what was added, but it quickly lost its luster a couple weeks in, and as it stands right now, Drag has seemed to fall off the face of the earth completely. Drift was a bit more lucky as the NFS League had one of its competitions taking place in the event, so some of the relevance has stayed. The problem is, that was for the competitive players. What about those who enjoy casual play? Well, Drift lobbies don't fill up completely, Drift playlists aren't being sent in the free roam sections, and it seems like the dust is starting to collect. This is not to say that it isn't still played, because it surely is. Rumble is also still being played, but do you see the point I'm trying to make? In the same time frames that the two updates have been out, Hot Pursuit has steamrolled over Drift and Drag, and in that aspect, it is objectively better regarding the content provided. Both updates were based off of previous games, but it was about what could bring in more. Everyone to a degree likes cops, but not everyone likes drag racing or drifting in general. In its entirety, the Hot Pursuit game mode is great. It has given the community exactly what they asked for and a little bit more with all the tracks and different classes that came out on release. The game mode feels interactive with being able to play as both cops and racers. Even when you are busted, the game isn't over and they put you right back into the fight. It's intense with all the AI cops, actual player cops, and the pursuit tech all trying to bust you. And it's popular and not too buggy. You hop into a game and it works majority of the time with no issues. But that is where the good times end, I'm afraid. In my other videos, I have covered in detail problems with the Hot Pursuit update, but I'll go over the majority of them once again. The cops are too broken, and there is no reason why A-class cars are going up against S+ tier police vehicles. Regardless of the reasoning, people want to make up for it. It is not fair in even the slightest way, and just because you can escape does not automatically make it fair. There have been plenty of times that I have escaped due to pure luck or because the police suck, but that shouldn't have to be relied on every single time. There should be a balance so that the racers actually feel like they have a chance without the AI cops crashing into the player cops or the player cops sabotaging each other. Racer tech should have been included from the release of this update that is expanded upon from what we already had in the game, such as repair kits and damage reduction. These auxiliaries already in the game should have been buffed to be on the level that the new player cops have been operating in, not staying at the same level that the AI cops have been at. It is easy to see how outclassed and dated these auxiliaries are, and they should not be the only racer tech we have at our disposal. Jammers, turbo boosts, and other ways of avoiding cops were expected to be right along the cops in their tools. There should have been a racer story side, just like the cops, where you escape from police and use racer tech to upgrade your getaway cars and tech. Cop cars being 2 tiers or 3 tiers ahead of the racers is unacceptable and clearly was not play tested beforehand. The cops, being somewhat stock, are still way too fast, and it does not matter what car you use as a racer. Either allow racers to pick the tier of car they want against the S plus cops, change it so that only S and S plus are available for racers and cops, or change the way things work by having cop cars start only a tier above the racers regardless of the playlist tier. Things like this can ruin the experience of the entire game mode, and doing some research, I have found out that a lot of players won't even attempt A or A plus due to the sheer disadvantage it holds. Now, we have already went over a few other ways the cops could be brought down to reality, including the uses of their pursuit tech and the teleportation mechanic. If you want more info on that, remember to check out my previous videos on the nerfing of the cops. Now, I am betting 100% that after the feedback Criterion has received about these cops, a nerf is in fact coming. So let's all be prepared for that. I would highly encourage everyone to do their cop challenges now, because you would definitely be hurting, especially on the EMP and takedown missions, if they need cop damage and speed into the ground. The next section that will be rated are the cars. This one will not be as extensive due to there only being 2 major updates with the cars in the game, them being the new Porsche and the new Lotus. Everyone has something to say about the new Lotus, and I do as well. The fact that it is good at everything with no real downsides is exact replica of the Regera situation from Volume 1 all the way to now, and that is not okay. It seems the team is not listening fully to what the community wants and just throws us something they think we want. I would encourage the company, aka the dev team, to sit down with a group of the community that includes competitive players and casual players alike to get both perspectives and meet in the middle. The Lotus was a wonderful addition to the game, and the only thing I could actually poke at it is that it was a Lotus and not another brand of car that could have been in the exact same S plus spot. I know a lot of people, including myself, have been hoping for a new Pagani, Lamborghini, or Ferrari, and it was kind of disappointing when it came out to what the car actually was. But that is just a tiny nitpick and not to be taken seriously at all. They've stated already that all the cars that are dropping and incoming have been pre-planned from the jump, so there will be no more surprises besides the actual car brand themselves that should be expected. We have talked about the problem with the Lotus being the only car you can actually use in S Plus a lot, so we're just going to skip over that portion. Now onto the Porsche. The Porsche excels in A Plus as well as S, and I do believe the community enjoys the breath of fresh air from the R8 overtake. They didn't do the one thing we wished they would not, and that was to make a car so OP that it is now the only car you can use. It is a great option to compete against the R8 neck and neck, and that was the best choice they could have made. The problem with this is that it is locked behind the premium speed pass, which once again turned the community off to a great thing. This can be a double-edged sword, however, due to the fact that because it is locked behind a paywall, a lot of the player base won't have it, so that means another meta car isn't on the streets as much. So to those who hate meta, there you go. The other side is that people can't even use the car in general outside of a stock car playlist, and that is not okay to an extent. The Porsche comes with great customization, great engine swaps, and the fact it can be used as a cop car makes it even more exciting. Did they cook with this one? Yes, I do believe they did. I do believe the 2 cars would have worked a bit better if both cars they added were to start in B tier and be able to give all tiers a bit more variety as opposed to the cars being stuck in A+, S, and S plus. A lot of the community who only do A and B won't even get to truly experience the cars in the way they want to because of this. Now, the rating I give to this side of the update is a solid 6 out of 10. With the Porsche carrying majority of the score, it would have been higher, but they made the Lotus way too good and caused an even bigger problem on top of an already growing problem. The idea was there to give competition to a car, but the idea was not cooked all the way. The team has shown that they can do great things with the cars and not make them too broken. Just look at Volume 7 Drift and Drag with the Dark Horse and the M3 Touring. But what about the volumes when they added the DeLorean or the Maybach? Let's try again in the next update. The optimization on release. I don't want to get mad here, and I've already talked about this in another video as well, so this will be very quick. This Volume 8 update did even more damage to the game than I could have ever imagined. I don't think any other volume update has done this much to the game ever, and as far as I am aware, Volume 7 had the game running perfectly fine. Now, it's okay for bugs and issues to happen. That is not what I'm saying. This is bound to happen because players tend to do things that the devs wouldn't even expect, and that causes a new bug to be found. However, on a scale that this is what happens when things are rushed and not properly planned or handled. This should not be happening in a new age, current gen game like this, and a small dev team excuse can only be used for so long. wrong. It's a small dev team when things don't go right, but when they do go right, the dev team is the Avengers all of a sudden. Games crashing, game saves deleting, slow motion effects like it's the Matrix, and a laundry list of other problems plagued players every single day. Let's get these things together. The rating for this section is a 3 out of 10. Absolutely terrible. The Speed Pass for Volume 8. A lot of people don't like the Speed Pass, more so the premium version of the Speed Pass. That's tough because that is not what we are talking about. We are talking about everything that was in the Speed Pass. It wasn't actually good stuff regardless of if you don't think it should be paid for or not. Off rip, we got the Porsche and the Lotus in there, but we've already discussed that, so that's a W. Then on top of that, we got introduced to 3 cop car editions for the Porsche, multiple different body kits for the cars, and never before seen light trails which look amazing, and I don't think anyone in the community would actually disagree on that one. We got new light bars and bull bars for the cops. We got a brand new character skin with the story mode character Yaz, which a lot of people asked for ever since Rydell was added to the game. And as far as the best speed pass that have dropped so far, that can be debatable because others have dropped and the custom cars we've gotten from them were pretty crazy, such as the speed pass's custom Dodge Viper that glowed. That was nice, but in the grand scheme of things, this speed pass added nicely to the already great effect the update has brought everyone from day one. The nice thing is as well is that they incorporated the speed pass in such a way that it didn't seem like it stood out, and it was an addition that they added last minute just to have in there. There have been plenty of times where I've went through the speed pass in a new season and there is nothing that has to do with anything, just hogging up spots. The clothing doesn't need to be there. We don't see our character for 99% of the game anyway. Some of the banners and stickers that are taking up spots are also pretty useless, as you don't see people's banners for majority of the game either. When a speed pass is filled to the brim with fluff like this, that is what genuinely becomes a problem. But for this speed pass in Volume 8, I felt it was pretty balanced all around. The rating I give this is a cool 8 out of 10. That cooked here as well. A perfect 10 out of 10 would be a speed pass filled with nothing but trails, rims, actual new cars, and body kits. But we all know that's not going to happen in a million years, so we got to keep it going with the things we do have. Now for the bug fixes, the overall quality of life improvements, and the overall events added, the things that were fixed or added in this game via the patches, this update did good in, I can't even lie. The first thing is the new community challenges. Before, I stated that nobody really even cared about them, and I was mistaken for sure. So many people in the community were so about this Unbound League event, it was crazy. Racer X and even the mention of his name had people in a chokehold, and every other post on Reddit was how to race him. They improved on this, with new variants of the cars that could be obtained, and there are new races for the league. I'm glad that this wasn't one of those things that they added to the game and just forgot about up until the game's end. The next thing are the main events that were added. We got the new cop career, new hot pursuit events, new playlist for the Regera versus Evija, new playlist for the Porsche, Evija only playlist, NFS Legends playlist, and even a new Gauntlet playlist, which is crazy considering the game mode has fallen off a bit since its release. It's a good thing that they wanted to keep it alive though. On the official patch update post from EA, they also say 16 new Volume 8 routes to discover, and by that I assume they mean races, and that would include all the new races that were added for Hot Pursuit. As said before, they are extensions or add-ons to the races already present in the game. We can get into the increased rank system they added, and it is a small plus if I will be completely honest. We have had a level 99 cap for a very long time, and people were asking for something else to actually grind for since they hit the level cap. This gives people something to grind for, but it is still unfortunate that the ranks don't mean anything. If we got rewards for them, it would be incredible. But as it stands right now, it's just a visual plus that doesn't really add much to the overall rating of the update. The bug fixes that the update brought were great as well. The one issue was the bridge in going uptown, and that has been fixed finally after 2 years of the game being out. That honestly could be the biggest W in the update alone, and I think everyone would agree. We could have just said that from the jump and that would be the video. But anyway, the fixes also include the reset glitch with the drag update where you would be stuck in a loop until the race ended. Unfortunately, it came about in a completely different update than the one drag itself came out in, so that is something. Another big thing that they said they fixed is the friends list. I wholeheartedly believe they straight lied. Every single time I hop on the game, my friends list is broken, and it has gotten to the point that I have to have others send me invites every single time. This is one of the biggest issues with the game, and the fact it took this long to fix it is definitely impacting the rating this portion is going to get. On top of this, they still have not fixed the lobby glitch where you can't see your friends but they can see you, resulting in having to reset your entire game to fix it. The rating for this section is 5 out of 10, and that 5 comes from the fixing of the bridge, 100%. Everything else is either still broken or half fixed. Now, I didn't go through every single bug that they said they fixed, and the reason for that is because a lot of the stuff they said they fixed is background things that nobody even noticed anyway unless it was directly impacting them. Overall, the update is a solid 7 out of 10 in my books. But what do you guys think? Is this a valid rating or should it be higher or lower? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed, make sure to go ahead and drop a like and subscribe. And I'll see y'all in the next video.